Alright, welcome back to episode 2 of Fixin the Vixen. If you've already seen the first episode, you'll remember that we found this old camper at the scrapyard just waiting to be brought back to life. We got it back to our shop and today it's time to see if we can get it running. First things first, we need to check the oil. Oil is the lifeblood of the engine, and without it, the motor probably wouldn't last long. I was told by the guys at the scrapyard that this thing had a wicked oil leak, so I figured it would be low. What I didn't expect, however, was for it to be this low, almost empty. Filling the engine oil in the Vixen is an interesting experience, because to access the oil fill port, you actually have to go inside the cabin and open the secret compartment underneath the bed. This allows access to the top of the motor where we can put our funnel and top up the oil. Now hop back out and we can check the level. Ah, the good old days when BMW engines still had dipsticks. Now that the oil level is set, I want to check the timing belt. Most modern cars are run by timing chains that are usually maintenance free, but the M21 engine used in the Vixen has an old-fashioned rubber timing belt. This belt keeps the crankshaft and camshaft of the engine in sync and is a very important part. Because this belt is made of rubber, it's possible for it to wear out with age and eventually snap. This would be catastrophic for the engine, so I want to make sure it's at least in decent shape before we try and run the motor. I tried to pull off the timing cover here, but it was blocked by some hoses and wires. That's alright though, because I was able to pry it off enough to get my boroscope in there and have a quick peek. Thankfully for now, the timing belt looks like it's in decent shape, with no serious cracks or wear that I can see. Of course I'm planning on replacing it anyway, but at least for now it's good enough. Next issue was the battery. Main problem was that it didn't really have one. Luckily this was easy enough to sort and a new used battery was all it took. With the battery in place, it was time to see if the engine would turn over. Now I was told that it had an oil leak from the turbo line, but when we looked underneath the engine I noticed something else. There looked to be some fresh oil around the oil filter housing. I kind of expected something like this because I noticed what seemed to be an oil filter O-ring sitting on the tire carrier. Go again? Could it be that someone just forgot to put the O-ring back on the filter?
From the oil filter! Kissing.
A few quick cranks of the motor pretty much confirmed my suspicion. Now, it was time to pull the oil filter cover off and find out exactly what was going on. The oil filter on this engine is held on by two 13mm nuts that you just have to unscrew. But one of them was already loose. This is not a good sign.
It's not even on.
I finally get the oil filter cap off and...
There's not even an oil filter in there. Holy shit. Doesn't even have an oil filter. Man.
And there's our answer right there. Not only was the O-ring missing, the whole filter was gone. And now it's time to ask the big question. Why on God's green earth would the oil filter be missing? Did someone just forget to put it back? Was there an issue with the engine and they didn't bother? We might never know the full answer, but hopefully, time will tell.
Thanks.
Obviously this was a bit of a problem, but I already had a new man filter in stock, so after a quick cleanup to get the old oil off the housing, I'll slap the new filter back in, tighten it all up, and another spray down for good measure. Alright, let's try this again. New oil filter in, we should be good to go. I hope. Some pre-flight checks and it's time to crank. The moment of truth is here. Is she gonna run? Try to give it some gas. Woohoo! It's alive! Took a few good cranks, but she's purring like a kid. What an awesome moment. I don't even know how to describe how happy we were to hear it running. Now, we still got a long way to go before this thing is ready for the road, but a win is a win, and I'll take it. Of course, some of the gauges aren't working correctly, but that'll be a problem for a future. Now that we've got it running, next step is to see if we can get her to move. So it looks like we're going to be doing some work on the clutch. Thanks for sticking around, and catch you guys next time for some more Fixin the Vixen.